Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It's Tuesday, the 13th of September, and this is our midweek update. It's a day early because, well, hey, market conditions warrant it. So we've had a very, very nasty day here in the markets, and let's start off with this. We have PPI tomorrow morning. We have retail sales on Thursday. We have consumer sentiment on Friday. We have the Fed next Wednesday. Throw your bias out the window what this market wants to do. PPI tomorrow morning here is expected negative 0.1%. It was negative 0.5% negative last time. My buddy Jeff and I going back and forth, and he said something that made a ton of sense. Jeff said specifically, CPI always lags because of wage inflation, whereas the producer index comes in quicker. So this could be a better number than CPI. So we'll have to wait and see how this kind of plays out tomorrow. Oops, wrong thing. All right, so let's go into what happened here today. And let's start with the 5-minute chart and the SPY and talk about it. All right, we had this big move up and we hit 415 just before the number was released. This is always a head fake. And boom, huge down candle. We opened up and we've been going down ever since. How do you know today's a trend down day? Well, if you're with me and, guys, I can talk you guys through this. If you're not with us here, I can't help you, but I can talk you through this real time. People in the room, they know it. We kept failing. We failed at the 8 EMA all day long, then the 21-day, and then the ATR, we failed, and we've rolled over here over and over again. We never got to VWAP. Breadth has been atrocious all day as we're at the lows of the day. Other things we track have been bad all day. There was no reason here to be looking for big time longs in this market today. This market's been very, very weak on okay volume. So I say that because with under 20 minutes to go, about 17 to be exact, we're at 89 million shares. We'll do 110, 120 million shares, but we're not having a 200 million day. What we have done here, though, is we've created a big problem in the indexes and something that we're going to have to see how this resolves. And what that is here is very simply is we created an island top. An island top is when you gap up, like we did yesterday, and then you gap down and you leave anybody long there exposed and trapped. And that is exactly what we did. Kudos to Mark in the room who called it pre-market. He had it. He was right. So what we do today, we gap down big and we've sold off. This trend line I've drawn becomes important because this is your low from June. Here's your lower high. Here's your other lower high. If we break this trend line, then we break here, that number there, and we have major, major problems in this market. Not going to sugarcoat it. Talked about you want to be bearish. Well, now you have a reason to be bearish, right? Up until this morning in that CPI number, you haven't had a reason. Now you have a reason. We'll see what PPI brings us tomorrow. We're sitting here at, by the way, that number to break is 388.42. That invalidates the series of higher lows. So when you look at a market, the first thing I start doing is looking around saying, what's going on? Well, the VIX is raging. You had a huge candle today on the VIX, all the way up here, but still hasn't broken above any of the recent highs. That's notable. Dollar, huge bounce back. Bonds, dumped. All right, so we have a lot of problems here, a lot of things going wrong. So then we say, what charts stood up? What is speaking to me? So let's talk about clean energy. First Solar, they hit the weekly 142s hard into the highs. This chart continues to hold strong. I would keep an eye on this one. Doesn't mean I necessarily want to be in it, but as long as it holds the 8-day, I'd keep an eye on this one. You could put CSIQ in that boat, a little bit weaker. You had a plug with a nice little bounce today, but it giving it back. Charge point was even better, right? So these clean energy names, they continue to go. Let's stick with that thought. Tesla. Tesla is still above the 8-day. It held it today. This is notable strength. When I see notable strength, what do I want to do? Guys in the room, when you have notable strength and the market bounces, what do you want to do? Nobody. Everybody's dead. Their head dead. You want to run to it. You want to look for names that are stronger. So Tesla's strong. Amazon had been holding the 50-day into the last half an hour when it finally just broke down hard. Otherwise, this was a name that had notable strength. Now, this big area here, the 100-day, becomes the place to hold at 121. Apple gave up the ghost and said goodbye with an ugly candle. NVIDIA, horrific new range lows. AMD, new range lows. Oh, come on, Meta. Meta finally broke the 52-week low at 152.67. It was 154.25, I think. So it just broke below it. A lot of weakness here. We've been talking Meta all week and not to chase into this downtrend. So what do you do here? You sit on your hands. You short, you go long, you do what you feel you're comfortable with. But I'm going to remind you something I said in the room today. We are in a recession. I don't care what the Fed says. I've been saying this for a while. We are in a recession. How bad it gets depends. You need to start paying attention to what's going on in Ukraine because Russia is being humiliated, and that's a very dangerous situation. But bottom line is, when you come out of recession, that's when millionaires are made. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity here. The best thing I can tell you here is do not waste your money chasing candles in a market like this. Wait for the moment and seize the opportunity when we can load up and sit there. Anyway, so that's it for me, Mike, smartoptiontrading.com. I hope you're all doing well. We'll catch you guys live in the room tomorrow morning, and new members welcome, and let's see if we can make some money tomorrow.